Welcome back. President Trump signed the long-stalled reconciliation budget package, fully funding ICE and Border Patrol. It is funded now through the end of his second term. It provides $38 billion for ICE, $26 billion for Border Patrol, and $5 billion for discretionary funding for DHS. Senate appropriators now signaling that a third reconciliation bill is unlikely, as House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Jason Smith told me weeks ago. Senate Majority Leader John Thune also told me another reconciliation bill should not take away from what was accomplished in the big, beautiful bill, is how he said it when he joined me this week. Joining me now is Michigan Congressman Bill Huizenga. He's a member of the House Financial Services Committee. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. So what do you think? I feel like the House is a lot more optimistic about a potential to do something else before the midterms than the Senate is. But then again, I was just reading there are only 16 legislative days left in the House before the August recess. So how can you get another bill done?
It's going to be tough and a heavy lift. And obviously, we in the House have a very, very narrow majority. So you get two people together and they can either push or stop virtually anything. So, you know, we got some things that we got to work through here. And then obviously, as you were talking about in the Senate, I would say they're even less optimistic about what the possibility is for a Reconciliation 3.0. But we know this, Maria. I mean, we've had zero help from our colleagues across the aisle. Zero. Right. And whether it was, you know, the quote-unquote one big beautiful bill, that working families tax cut, or as we were seeing with ICE and CBP funding. And we could expect the exact same thing when it comes to defense spending, which would be one of the focuses of a Reconciliation 3.0. But there's a lot of work to do yet. It's frustrating for people like myself that, you know, there just isn't a willingness to move further faster.
Yeah, and then there's FISA, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. FISA is set to expire tomorrow. The president is urging Congress to pass a short-term extension, but Republicans may need Democrat support to get this done. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries already said he will not support an extension as long as Bill Pulte remains the president's choice for acting director of national intelligence. Here's the president calling out the Democrats yesterday. Watch this.
You need their votes.
We can't let them extort us. I told the guys today, we can't let them. They've done it on numerous occasions. I said we can. What we're signing today has been amazing, but they tried to extort us, and eventually, and they were losing tremendous support because they're extorting on law and order.
Congressman, I mean, so much pushback from the Democrats because they're trying to upend President Trump's agenda. And now their problem is Bill Pulte. Hakeem Jeffries saying he's not going to extend FISA and support that unless Bill Pulte's nomination is withdrawn as acting DNI. I asked John Thune about it this week. Here's what he said. Watch.
Well, that's an irresponsible position on behalf of the Democrats. Another irresponsible position, and it goes along with open borders, defund the police, sanctuary cities. Now we're going to defund the intelligence gathering capability that has been responsible for 90% of the drug busts that we've had and has prevented terrorist attacks. It is a tool. It's a national security tool. It needs to be reauthorized. The Democrats have indicated, we moved to proceed to it last week. They block voted against it. We've got to take care of the business of national security. If we don't get that right, the rest is conversation. And the Democrats right now are dug in over this Pulte issue, and it's an irresponsible position to take.
Why are they so dug in, Senator?
Well, I mean, I think they view him as part of, quote, weaponization at the housing agencies, and are at least fearful, or they're saying that this is they think he'll do this in the intelligence world. These things are totally unrelated. Reauthorizing, if you're worried about the management of the DNI, what you want is guardrails around whoever is in there. This bill does that.
I feel like they are always the loudest in the room. I mean, this whole idea of the Democrats bringing up weaponization, to me as an observer from the outside, is so rich, because I watched what took place place in 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and that is trying to take down a sitting president. How come I don't hear Republicans complaining about that kind of weaponization?
When we do, it doesn't get picked up, obviously, as much. It's partly what the media decides to cover. The Democrats are, obviously, they're vocal. The minority party has the luxury of being able to throw grenades and throw bombs. And, obviously, we have the responsibility of trying to govern and work with the president to get things done.
So, Congressman, what about that? Do you see support broadly within the Republicans for the president and the president's agenda? I mean, they're even trying to clip his wings on this war while we're in the middle of a war. Of course, the U.S. military launched multiple strikes on Iran for the second night in a row last night, targeting Tehran's military surveillance capabilities, communication systems, and air defense sites in response to the Iranians shooting down an American Apache helicopter over the Strait.
Yeah, well, Maria, what struck me was I was thinking exactly what you vocalized, which is this is rich that the Democrats are complaining about weaponization of government or the fear of that. We saw tangible weaponization, and then you have this situation where they're suddenly clutching their pearls, saying, "Oh no, we can't have anyone that would come in and actually say no to expansion of government," is really what their concern is. But look, I think the Democrats are going to be short-sighted about this every time that they possibly can be, because it is all about stymieing President Trump and an agenda. And it doesn't matter whether it's ICE and Customs and Border Patrol, doesn't matter whether it's Department of Defense, doesn't matter whether it's this, where we can't afford to have a FISA program go dark, but they're willing to literally put our nation's security at risk, all for a political end. And that's really the sad part.
Well, that's unbelievable. All right, Congressman, congrats on winning the Congressional baseball game last night, defeating Democrats 11-2. That victory marks the 6th straight win for the GOP. The annual charity showdown raised a record $3.25 million. And, of course, Congressman, you played in the game. You had 2 RBIs. How was it?
It was great. I'm a little sore this morning, but it was really great. I was at second base last night, and we've got a really strong team. And I got to tell you, Senator R-Mich, that guy's a dog. He was out there in left field running them down and taking diving catches. We've got some really great athletes. Me at 57, my range isn't so rangy anymore. It's a little more limited, but we've got some great athletes out there, and it's for great causes too. So yeah, that's the fun part.
Well, we've spoken with Greg Stubbe in the past, and I know how well he's done in the games as well. It reminds me of when I
pitched the entire game.
Yeah, he pitched the entire game.
That was great.
I got to get some lessons from him. I threw the first pitch back in the day in '06, and got it right over the plate.
Hey, it was over the plate. It was over the plate. That's not bad.
That was so much fun. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. And to you, Bill Huizenga. We'll be right back with the chairman of the CFTC, Michael Seelig, is here on market structure in the digital age, prediction markets, and a lot more. Stay with us. You're watching Mornings with Maria live on Fox Business.